I was involved as a witness in a lawsuit where a guy fell out of a man basket. He was wearing a harness, and he said that, in fact, the harness failed. So he got injured, showed up in the courtroom with his equipment. So in the course of this testimony, he identified the harness. He identified that he knew how to inspect it. And then I asked, through the appropriate channels, to have him put the harness on. And he stood there in the courtroom and put the harness on his person upside down. The question that our side asked, who trained you?
The importance of training. First, if we look at the OSHA rules, OSHA specifically says it is required that we properly train the employees. Fantastic. Better, it is foolish to put our workers at risk without the proper training. It is paramount, because there's no way that you can actually just hand somebody the book and say, hey, read this, and you know exactly the proper way to use it. Again, back to the whole training aspect, is people learn in different ways. One of the best learning tools, fingertips, or the touch and feel.
Training is a key component when using fall protection systems, because even something as simple as a guardrail, if you have a guardrail system and you don't train your employee on what its purpose is to protect you from a fall hazard that is on the opposite side of the guardrail. We've seen situations where employees use guardrails as a ladder to get a little bit higher. They need to change that light bulb that's in the corner, and there's a guardrail right there. So they stand up on the guardrail and now have exposed themselves to a fall hazard.
Any worker that can be potentially exposed to a fall hazard shall be trained so that they know what the hazards are and know the proper policies and procedures. If they've incorporated a personal fall arrest system, they shall be trained in the proper use, care, inspection of either the horizontal lifeline, the anchorages, the harness, the connecting device with lanyard or retractable or other.
Training is really critical for portable ladders, for rope descent systems, rope access systems, travel restraint systems, personal fall arrest systems, because each one of those systems have multiple pieces of equipment that must be assembled in the correct order, that have incompatibilities, certain ways that they can or cannot be hooked up. They also require a user interface between an employee and that equipment to make sure that it is put on properly, adjusted properly, maintained properly. So without training, an employer is just assuming that the employee knows what to do with it and how to use it, and that's a very dangerous assumption.